McGregor, the GOAT of MMA. Sometimes legends are born small, weak, and seemingly helpless, even when they will become the greatest hero, villain, or fighter. Such is the case of Conor McGregor, who grew up running from bullies, till he stood up to fight until he became the king of the octagon. How did the shaky, fearful kid become a literal beast? What has been in progress? What has happened in his personal life? You are about to find out. Conor Anthony McGregor was brought into this earth on July 14, 1988, in Crumlin, Dublin. His father, Tony, and mother, Margaret, raised him alongside his two sisters, Erin and Aoife. In Crumlin, he was enrolled in Irish language schools, the Gaelscoil Scoil Maloga, and Gaelscolasti Colasti de Hild in Tallaght at the secondary level. According to him, this is where he found his passion for sport and playing football. During his younger days, Conor played football for Lord's Celtic Football Club. His great dream and desire was to play for Manchester United. However, his desire to play for the club began to wane as he initially picked up a newfound interest in fighting, owing to the truth that he was always being bullied and needed to start defending himself. Therefore, at age 12, he joined the Crumlin Boxing Club and started boxing to exercise his confidence. Destiny has a way of finding a star, no matter what their situations are. His parents say he was born with a clenched fist. Before he decided to be a fighter as a kid, he always had to have a frown on his face as he was a constant prey to predatory bully kids who would always tease him at every little chance they had. And many times they beat him up too. Until his confidence in training, Conor somehow would find a way to avoid the fights and escape from confrontations. Things got so unpalatable for the young lad that he began to carry a heavy dumbbell in his school bag. He also kept the bag slightly open for a situation where he'd need a weapon for self-defense. Thankfully, such a situation never arose. Could you have ever thought that Conor McGregor was once a victim of bullying? Comment your thoughts in the comments section. In 2006, McGregor left Crumlin with his family to Lucan, Dublin, where he decided he was done with school and started a plumbing apprenticeship. In Lucan, he came across future UFC fighter Tom Egan. Soon enough, they began training together in mixed martial arts, or MMA. In Dublin, McGregor came across his now long-term coach, John Kavanagh. After entering one of Kavanagh's gyms, McGregor fought and beat up two nicer fighters in a sparring session he took personally. Kavanagh then pinned him and threw heavy blows till Conor said he was there to train and not to brawl. With no desire for schooling, McGregor worked hard as a plumber and made a living for himself. During this season, there were times he would work hard for 12 hours before heading to the gym to train. If that's not a fighting spirit, I don't know what is. This was when he started going out with his long-term girlfriend, Devlin, whom he met at a club and who has always believed in him from day one. In one interview with The Guardian, McGregor spoke of his miserable stint working as a plumber. It just wasn't right for me. I was waking at 5 a.m. and walking in the dark and cold until I reached the motorway and waited for a guy I didn't even know to take me to the site, where I worked for 12 hours. Then got driven back and walked home. I know there are passionate, skilled plumbers, but I had no love for plumbing. While he does not say that plumbing is an insignificant job, he believes he wasn't meant to do it. He chose to walk away from plumbing in 2008 and chased his dreams as a fighter full-time. He was recorded telling VIP magazine, "Yeah, I was working as a plumber, and then I just quit and decided that I was going to go for mixed martial arts full-time to chase the dream. I knew I didn't want to be like the other guys on the building site. We're getting up early in the morning and working late at night. Labor work, hard hat work. That wasn't for me." Conor McGregor is arguably the most recognized face in mixed martial arts. He is notorious and does not bother what people think of him. He has had a phenomenal career and knows how to make a lot of money, but initially, he came from a humble background. In terms of what he has achieved, McGregor has displayed some lack of mercy, as shown by his cruelty in the Ultimate Fighting Championship for the bigger part of 2010 to 2019, where he was the UFC featherweight and lightweight champion. On July 14, 2020, he ranked 10th in the UFC men's pound-for-pound rankings and 4th in the UFC lightweight rankings. Sadly, he lost his last two fights in the UFC in 2021. What is the fighter's love interest? There is a tell-all around the internet that McGregor was homeless when he found the woman he loves, Devlin, and how she removed him from the streets, taking Conor into her apartment. However, this story is not correct and was swiftly debunked. In one interview with VIP magazine, McGregor stated that they met in a club and immediately they had chemistry. However, has always stood as one of the essential people behind the winning of the MMA icon in his career. Since their relationship began in 2008, they had 3 children. In one interview with Irish Mirror, McGregor said, "My girlfriend worked hard throughout the years and stuck by me when I had absolutely nothing. I only had a dream that I was telling her. For me to take her out of work, give her everything she's ever wanted, and travel the world with her fills me with pride. It keeps me going." A quick glance at Conor McGregor's fighting spree. McGregor was in his earliest MMA bout on March 9, 2008, with the London-based promotion Cage Warriors, where he defeated Gary Morris by a technical knockout in the second round. He went on with a record of 4-2 for his first 6 dances before he began the winning streak that took him to international notoriety. During that streak of early fights and wins, McGregor went for his first ever UFC event, where he caught the attention of Chuck Liddell's till they both got a selfie. It's the type of meeting McGregor soon found himself in often. After his 4-2 win start, Conor crushed it and won his next 8 fights, each time in the first 2 rounds, and became a 2-division champion of the Cage Warriors. His notoriety continued to increase, and he was finally booked for his first battle in UFC. On April 6, 2013, McGregor had his UFC debut versus Marcus Brimage, winning by knocking out his opponent in the first round. The win was the first post on his Instagram account. Just a week before that fight, he picked up a welfare check for €188 to assist him in getting by. But Conor received the prize for knockout of that night and the $60,000 bonus that came with it. Later in life, he called his boat the 188 in sweet memory of those checks. UFC president Dana White was immediately intrigued by McGregor. "Let me put it this way. I'm blown away," White said after Conor's debut in Stockholm. "First of all, it is his first fight in the UFC. He walked out tonight and got into the octagon like it was his 100th fight in the UFC. This was the start of their gainful relationship. It was from there that Conor's reign of stardom and dominance continued. He won 5 more solid fights, of which 4 didn't make it through 2 rounds, and won the interim UFC featherweight championship against Chad Mendes. This placed McGregor in a fight with Jose Aldo in unification for the UFC featherweight championship. In this fight, McGregor won as boastful as ever, saying, "I'm going to unify the belts. I'm going to destroy the featherweight division, and then I'm going to take the lightweight division as well." On December 12, 2015, true to his boast, McGregor won by knocking out Jose Aldo in only 13 seconds. This was the quickest finish for a UFC title fight. Again, it was a knockout. McGregor jumped out to win in the lightweight division in a fight with Rafael dos Anjos for the title that was made for UFC 196 in March. However, dos Anjos had to drop out after breaking a foot. This led former lightweight contender Nate Diaz to come up on short notice to fight McGregor. Diaz had been training as a welterweight at 170 pounds. McGregor decided that he would gain the weight required to meet him there, leaping 2 weight classes in only 2 weeks. "Weight should never be an issue," he said. "Champions should be able to go up and down and fight any challenge that comes before them." McGregor was the favorite in the fight, but he was caught in the second round, where he ended up tapping out after Diaz had him locked in a rear naked chokehold, giving McGregor the only loss of his UFC career at the time. Despite his surprising loss to Nate Diaz in 2016, McGregor was announced the first mixed martial artist to be featured on the Forbes list of the 100 highest paid athletes when he took $22 million in that year between his fight with Diaz, Aldo, and a host of sponsorships. In addition, 2016 saw McGregor's profile grow more with a spread in ESPN's Body Issue, with Conor showing it all in a photo shoot for the magazine. After some negotiation that included McGregor being removed from UFC 200 for deciding not to go on a press tour to promote the fight, McGregor Diaz 2 was set for UFC 202. The fight indeed was a bloodbath, thrilling fans worldwide. It was one of McGregor's most memorable battles in the octagon. McGregor outlasted Diaz in this rare fight because it was strange for Conor to go all 5 rounds. Both fighters received Fight of the Night honors, and Conor won by a majority decision. 3 months later, he called out Eddie Alvarez for the UFC Lightweight Championship. The match was set for UFC 205. In the prelude to that match, McGregor displayed his usual confidence by telling his opponent to show up, take your ass whooping, and I'll see you later. Conor won by TKO in the second round, becoming a 2-division champion. After winning, McGregor proclaimed that he would take some time off fighting to await the birth of his child. McGregor started pushing for a boxing bout with Mayweather during his time off. He was usually bringing it up at public appearances and on social media. Rumors that negotiations were going on began swirling. In June 2017, a month after his son was born, the announcement came out that the fight was officially going to be on. Mayweather and McGregor were going to meet in the ring in Las Vegas for the biggest fight of that year, surely. Conor made the official announcement in an Instagram post while trolling the undefeated boxer. The build-up towards the fight on August 26th was almost fast and furious. Mayweather and McGregor went on a 4-city tour to promote the fight. They traded verbal jabs and obscenities along the way. At the start of the tour in Los Angeles, McGregor made news with his wardrobe. He wore a custom suit with pinstripes that read "F you" to anyone near enough to see it. During their next face-off in front of the crowd in Toronto, McGregor challenged Mayweather's rumored illiteracy, which delighted those who were gathered to witness the press conference. But McGregor wasn't without criticism and backlash. He received accusations of racism for some of his comments on that tour with Floyd Mayweather. McGregor didn't stand a chance versus Mayweather, and he was eventually defeated by TKO in the 10th round. But while he lost, Conor was surely pleased with the result as he earned a rumored $100 million for this fight. After the Mayweather bout, he took some time off to enjoy his money. As a guest of Russian President Vladimir Putin, he enjoyed the 2018 World Cup final. However, he had to return to the UFC as his natural opponent, Khabib Nurmagomedov, an undefeated Russian fighter, had taken over as the champion of the lightweight division while Conor was absent. Things became heated when McGregor strangely attacked a bus that Nurmagomedov was on ahead of UFC 223. McGregor was taken into custody and was charged with assault for this attack, but he got off relatively untouched. And then the stage was all set for a fight between McGregor and Khabib for the UFC lightweight title, where UFC even exploited the use of McGregor's footage of attacking the bus to promote the fight. In the fight, Khabib dominated McGregor, and in the 4th round, he ultimately forced him to tap out. After the final bell sounded, Khabib leaped out of the octagon and started a brawl with some of McGregor's teammates, resulting in suspensions for both fighters. McGregor surprisingly announced his retirement from fighting in March of 2019. That said, fighters' retirements are usually temporary. He came out of retirement to fight Dustin Poirier twice in 2021 and lost both times. Regardless of whether or not he ever fights again, McGregor will go down as one of the greatest fighters in UFC history. What are McGregor's business ventures, endorsements, and Hollywood appearances? McGregor has received endorsement deals with Beats by Dre, Monster Energy, Reebok, and Bud Light. As of 2017, his endorsement deals were up to $7 million. In early 2018, McGregor signed a deal with Burger King, August McGregor fashion brand. Just before his fight with Mayweather, McGregor made his fashion partnership public with the tailoring brand David August, aimed at creating modern men's suits for millennials. In September 2018, McGregor launched his proper No. 12 Irish whiskies in Ireland and the United States. The whiskey was named after the Crumlin neighborhood in Dublin, 12, where McGregor grew up. In late 2018, McGregor claimed that the brand had sold hundreds of thousands of bottles since its launch, and there were plans to restock in the United States and Ireland in December 2018. McGregor confirmed that the brand was to extend distribution to the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Russia, and Canada in 2019. In 2021, it was said that McGregor and his business partners sold their majority stake in this company to Proximo Spirits for a deal valued at a reported $600 million. In 2022, Conor McGregor was even cast alongside the actor Jake Gyllenhaal to star in the 1989 movie Roadhouse remake. For a fighter as notorious as Conor McGregor, it should not come as a surprise to you that there are controversies around him. Driving offenses and even once disqualified from driving for 6 months were his notable involvements. He also had sexual assault allegations, an altercation with Machine Gun Kelly at the MTV VMAs, and a video of him punching an older gentleman in a pub in Dublin. Also, on October 17, 2021, McGregor was said to have assaulted Francesco Facchinetti, an Italian DJ and TV presenter in a Rome nightclub, breaking his nose in the presence of a witness and bodyguards. A few days later, Fascinetti pressed charges against McGregor for the attack. Just some more little details. McGregor is Catholic, and he is also a football fan and supports Celtic and Manchester United. He has also shown support for Paris Saint-Germain, being a good friend of Sergio Ramos. He has said that he isn't involved in pre-fight rituals or superstitions, as he believes they are a form of fear. There's a story Conor McGregor's teenage friend Tom Egan enjoys telling about when dreams were mere dreams, and McGregor was just a pimple-faced, clean-shaven 19-year-old. They were both hanging out in a mall in Dublin, Ireland. They got some food, and then they stopped at a bookstore to glance through the mixed martial arts magazines. They were in the infancy of their MMA careers and hoped that looking through the pages for a few seconds would drop them some fresh skill. As they were exiting, McGregor saw Floyd Mayweather on the cover of The Ring with 2 fists up, a toothy grin, and his eyes gazing back. "Wow," McGregor said. "Look at him. He is the face of boxing. He's on top of the world." Conor took hold of the magazine and didn't stop glancing for a long moment. He could see himself there. Conor has just started life, they say. Life begins at 40. Well, he's just 34. With his family to care for and his business to work on, we will still see a lot of Conor McGregor in the future. Hopefully, his reputation will be comely and spotless from now on. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you.